afternoon, what is going on? I am jeffgrantMEDIA, and today's a real user review. We're going to be taking a look at the Remote Equipment Alpha 31 second production run in the EPX 600 fabric. Now, to get this out of the way, right up top, as always, I am not affiliated with Remote Equipment in any way, shape, or form. I bought this bag with my own money, so all the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. I did not share this content with Remote Equipment prior to publication. If they want to see it, they will see this when you do. Now, this bag is something I have been wanting and lusting over for quite some time, just like a lot of people. The second production run, which I felt like was never going to come, obviously it is here. I'm very happy with this bag. We're going to get into all of that. But the hype on the first production runs of these bags, like $800 plus for the bag on the aftermarket, if you can even find one. Now that was a steep price, and honestly far more than I was willing to pay for a pack. So I'm very, very excited that we finally get a second production run with a little bit of tweaks. We will try to go over the differences that I can remember between the first run and the second run. But before we do that, let's do a quick spec rundown. The 2PR Alpha 31 comes in two color options, the all black EPX 600 and the nicely striped UVX 40. At launch, the black EPX 600 came in at $359 USD, currently going for $399 USD, and the UVX came in at $449 USD at launch and is now coming in at $499. Now let's talk about a few tweaks from 1PR to 2PR. The all-black OG bag came in an X51, and I believe the multi-cam was an X50, whereas the second production run came in EPX 600 or UVX 40. The OG came in at 3.19 pounds, and the two PRs come in at about 3.3 pounds. The first production run did not come with a hip belt, where the second production run does come with a hip belt, and that hip belt is removable, as well as the elastic stays that you can use for the trekking poles are also removable, so you take those two off, which I did, and that does cut a little bit of the weight off that 3.3 pounds, and I believe that's probably going to take this right down to very close to the same weight as the first production run. The zipper on the sausage pockets is a little bit higher on the second production run than on the first. The first production run has a single light loop, whereas the second production run has 5 loops. I believe the top compression strap for the roll top mounts more on the side of the bag on the second production run, where in the first one I believe it went down inside the water bottle pocket, much like I had on my Arch Grisetti. I can't tell for sure because the photos aren't exactly clear, but I'm pretty sure it did, and that does kind of make it a little bit difficult when you're getting a water bottle in and out, so mounting it on the side like this is a much better design. The first production run did not have load lifters, where the second production run does. The back panels are completely different from first production run to second production run. And the first version of these were made right here in the US of A, where the new EPX 600 and UVX 40s are all made in Vietnam. Now those are the ones that I could see and that I'm aware of. I'm sure there are a few more tweaks here or there, but ultimately the bag did so well. They didn't change that much about it, just made a few improvements, if you will. The biggest, honestly, being the fabric choices from the X50, X51 to the EPX 600 and the UVX 40. But now let's get into the reason you're here, the real user review. And as always, we're gonna go ahead and start with the negatives. And to be honest, I really struggled to find negatives with this bag. Most of the things that I had are points of note that are not deal breakers, and honestly neither of these negatives are deal breakers, but it was really hard to find something to say negative about this pack because I thoroughly enjoyed it. But my first negative is from the inside of the bag, and that is this zipper pocket right here. Now, it's big, I'm utilizing it, I have a lot of stuff in here, but I feel like this could be broken down into 2 separate zipper pockets. So I wouldn't have to dig to the bottom, which isn't a big dig, but still to get like my pocketbook slim or my sardine tin, my user manual for the bag, my tote bag. I feel like I can organize this pack a little bit more if this had 2 separate zippers here, and it's not a big deal. It's not like it's a deep dig. I can easily get my hand in there. My forearm, it's only forearm deep, so I can still get everything in there. I can put everything back in there very easily. It's not that hard to use, but honestly, if I'm being nitpicky, this is one of the negatives with the pack, would be this pocket. I wish it was 2 pockets instead of 1 big one. Now the next thing is going to be very nitpicky, but it is these zipper pulls. I've never been a huge fan of this style of zipper pull. Now they're great, especially if you wear gloves. You can get your finger in there, you can pull them, you can easily zipper the bag, and the zippers themselves work really well. But these zipper pulls are always kind of doing one of these. So I'm grabbing one to unzip the pack, and I'm actually grabbing it from the wrong side, and I'm still zipping the bag as I'm going. They do tend to get tangled all the time, and sometimes if they're in the corner, they kind of fall underneath the rain flap, and I'm digging for them, I can't find them. It's a little bit of annoying and a little bit of pain in the ass, to be honest, but I mean, again, that's probably a little bit nitpicky. I've never been a huge fan of this type of zipper pull. The ones that are on the sausage pockets, I much prefer, and honestly, what I'm gonna do is pull an Eric out and put some brightly colored ones on here, but I'm probably going to use the same style as the sausage pockets all the way around, as opposed to more of these zipper pulls. It's just this style of zipper pull, I'm just not a fan of it. I've had it in a lot of bags over the years, and I generally just take them off, but when I'm testing a product, I like to test it as it's built, so I left them on. But this is going to be one of my personal modifications. Is I'm going to swap out the zipper pulls for something a little bit different, something a little more brightly colored, just as an accent. I don't necessarily need this bag to be all black and be a sleeper. I mean, I got a pretty bright blue hero clip on the side, so it's not like I don't already have a little bit of color on the pack, and I have on wrong side. I've got an Eric Au Skin Solutions patch, hamburger patch on here, so it's not like I'm trying to keep the bag office friendly. It's fairly office friendly as is, but I want to add a little bit of flair, and one of those things is going to be swapping these zipper pulls out for something I find a little bit more user friendly. And honestly, that's it. The zipper pull is incredibly nitpicky. It's just something that was really annoying when I was trying to open the bag and I was always re-zipping it. And the intro mesh pocket, I wish that was just 2 pockets. Those are really my only 2 personal changes that I would make to this bag, and one of them I'm going to do because it's simple and easy and it's a non-destructive mod. I'm just going to change the zipper pulls. The mesh pocket, that would be great if it was 2. That's not something I can do. So honestly, really there's one negative point, and it's the mesh pocket of the bag. But now we're going to go ahead and get into a couple of the neutral points of the bag. The first being these sausage pockets right here. Now, they're great, they're big, they're useful, you can get quite a bit of stuff in them, but you do need to use some sort of organization inside them. Because if you try to access the pockets while the bag is leaning vertical against something, things are just gonna kind of spill around inside of there. You would have to lay the bag down flat and access it this way so things don't spill out. Or you can use some organizers. Here I have my cupcake and my bran muffin from Skin Solutions that work really nice. I can access both of these easily while they're still inside the bag. What I do is I actually orientate the bags so they will sit in the pouch with the zippers on the inside, so I could still zip and unzip each of these pouches while they're still inside, and I can still access them without actually removing them from the bag. But they're easy to remove and take out. The one tip I will say is if you're putting something 2 small pouches in, you're gonna wanna put the top one in first, because there is a little, even though they do zip up a little bit higher, there is a lip up the top a little bit bigger than the bottom, so you can kind of stick that up in there and then put it in, zip it up, and then when I wanna access them, I can kind of just poof, get on my little pill containers. I got to take my morning pill, want some Tylenol for headache, allergy pills, anything like that. Get that in there, put it right back in, boom, zip the bag back up, good to go. That's why I really like these two smaller organizers, because I can break down my organization. They fit in here perfectly, which I believe they're actually made. Eric made these to fit in here. They fit in here perfectly, and I can organize my EDC even better because I don't have one large pouch, I have the 2 separate ones. And then if we go to the other side, I have something similar, but I have my first aid kit and the sewing kit, and because the pocket is so big and the sewing kit's so small, it does bounce around quite a bit, so it did stay up top, but usually I end up finding it down at the bottom like that instead of sticking up top. Another neutral point is going to be these trekking pole loops or ice axe loops. When you get the pack, they're actually going to be laying flat and they're going to be facing straight up. So when they break in, they get a little bit more dangly and they kind of will bounce around quite a bit. They do get a little bit in the way, especially when you're trying to access these side sausage pockets. So I believe this was another SB mod where he simply just took the piece of webbing for the ice axe loop and slid it underneath one of these additional pieces of moly that you have on the second production run, and now it holds it flat down and it's still completely usable. The loop is still, there's still a lot of loop there, so it's still completely usable. It holds it down so it's completely out of the way, and then you don't have to worry about it getting in the way. The zippers of the pocket, or if you undo the clamshell all the way, it comes down to about here, then everything is just completely set, it's out of the way, and it's a really good, simple idea and a way to manage a little bit of this extra slack. Now, another point of note here is going to be this external access for your laptop sleeve. Now, when the bag is brand new, and I could see if you watch my unboxing, it was a little bit stiff. The zipper did stick a little bit along the line here of the bag, and that's because the liner is sewn so tightly in here to maximize space inside the bag that it kind of just snags. It's a little tight, but you can see as you're using it, it does break in. Now, there is one catch point, and that's going to be right here. It's right about where the top compression for the roll top meets the bag, and that's because that's where the piping is for the top of the laptop sleeve. So it's the zipper itself is just a little bit bulkier. When the laptop is in there, you can see mine is not right now, it kind of pushes this in and it pulls all of this extra slack in, so it does zip smoother and fully when the laptop is in there. But when the laptop's not in there, you might get a couple of snag points. It does break in. It is working a lot smoother now than when it was brand new, because it is an AquaGuard zipper, so it does stick because it's a pretty sturdy, robust zipper. But generally, when your laptop's not in here, the only time you're going to be closing it is when you take the laptop out to rezip the bag. And if you do with a little bit of speed, you get past all those snag points. When it was brand new, even with a little speed, it did catch a little bit, but other than that, it's been breaking in and working quite nicely. Now, while we're on the laptop compartment, another point of note here is that the laptop sleeve on the inside of the bag is not padded at all. It's just this DuraStretch pocket with a tablet sleeve in front of it. So if you have anything bulky or heavy on the inside of the bag, please be cognizant of the fact that it will be resting up against your laptop. It does work out fine for me. I've had no issues with it. I'm used to this with a lot of bags, but please note that there is no padding on the inside of the bag. It's just this DuraStretch pocket. And that's it. And again, my negative points, they were struggling to find something negative because not everything's perfect, but honestly, this bag is pretty close to it. I've been finding this very, very useful. I have not been able to stop EDCing this pack. That's why this bag took a little bit longer to review. I did have some bags in front of it, but I just couldn't stop using it. I just wanted to keep using it, and I'm very, very much enjoying the experience of this pack. So with that, we're getting into the positives, and the very first one is this bag is sexy looking. I mean, this thing is awesome. It's just one of those bags that there's a lot going on, but it's still pretty simple of a bag to use. It's very clean looking. A lot of thought and a lot of research went into this pack, and I'm very, very happy with how it came out. Personally, I've been really getting into these EPX fabrics. I have been learning as I've been getting older. I am a Cordura guy. I'm a big fan of Cordura. It's probably my favorite backpack material, but I'm definitely liking the EPX fabrics over some of the VX, and I really like this EPX 600 because it has that smoother look. It looks, and I thought when the teaser photos were dropping that this was actually going to be a Cordura bag because it looks so smooth. It doesn't have that diamond checking coming through as prominent as like the EPX 400 does or like the VX bags do. I really like the look of this bag. It's sexy. Everything is well thought out. It just looks good. It's been working in every environment. I've been EDCing this in the office, and I am in the new office building for the past couple of months, and there are people working there, and it is a full-on office building. It's not the the warehouse that was converted into office space that had like 8 people working in it that I've been in for like the past 2 years. It's an actual honest to God office building, and this bag fits right in that setting. So it's sexy, it's great, it looks good, and it fits in the office, it fits in the wild when I had this bag out in the city. And I did not take this on the trails yet because I have a bunch of dedicated bags that I can use for hiking and stuff as day packs. So I did not take this on the trail. I've seen a lot of people have, and it's performed great on the trail, but personally I have not. Maybe in the future I'll take it out into the woods and give it a little walk around and see how she handles. But for right now, this is definitely going to stay as an office EDC pack. And the bag altogether has great access. With the roll top, I can really see down inside the pack. I can get everything that I need. But for day-to-day EDC access, I'm just unzipping the front panel. I can still access everything that I need. It's great, and I can grab my laptop in and out with the laptop access without ever having to go to the inside if I don't need my tech kit. And the 2 sausage pockets out front really help for a lot of my quick grab bulkier items. And for the small quick access items like a pen or my ID badge for work, the top quick access pocket is perfect for all of that. So the bag is very, very accessible. I can get anything that I need whenever I need it, and I don't feel like I'm struggling to find anything inside the bag because the organization and the access is pretty awesome in this pack. Everything that I don't need is removable because if you've been following along for a while, I do not really like hip belts. I only really use them on very high capacity bags if I'm backpacking. So I generally don't ever use them. And I love the fact that they are removable on the Alpha 31 here. So it does come with the option if I wanted to put them back on. There's just 2 little loops on the side here, but because I don't really use them, you can see that they are removed, and it's also saving me a little bit of weight that I don't have to carry. And while I have the bag flipped here, we can talk about this wonky looking back panel. Here's a better view of it. You can see that there's kind of this bump out in the middle. You have an upper back and a lumbar support, and it does look wonky. And I was a little skeptical of this at first, but it's quite comfortable. It fits really, really well because there's this huge air channel. Now I do get sweaty, so nothing is going to ever keep me from sweating wearing a pack. But this huge air channel is definitely a little bit better than some of the other packs that I've been using. And it actually feels really good when you're on the scooter. When I'm like leaning a little bit forward, my scooter, I have it set up more as a highway ride, but I still lean a little bit, and the bag fits on my back nicely no matter what jacket combination or just t-shirt I'm wearing. It fits and feels really, really good on the body. Although it looks a little different, but it functions so well that I'm loving it, and I don't care that it looks a little wonky now because it works great. The straps are a little bit thicker, a little bit more dense foam, but they are very pliable. They do conform to the body, and they're very, very comfortable to wear. And I've worn this again in a lot of different setups, just over t-shirt, button down denim jacket, rain jacket. I think I might have used like my thicker shell jacket in some of the cooler mornings and had this pack on, and it fit over everything, and the straps and back panel felt great in all of those different setups and scenarios of how I wore the pack. And one other thing that I completely forgot to get a clip of is that the EPX 600 it's really great in the water. I had this on my back in a scooter a couple of times in the rain. I got home, everything inside the bag was completely dry. So all of the AquaGuard zippers, on the sausage pockets on the top. The main zipper is not AquaGuard, but these are big, bulky rain flaps, and it did keep it all dry. No water got inside the bag, no water seeped through any of the fabric. So I'm cruising my scooter to Honda Ruckus, so I cruise at, coming home, I'm probably hanging right around 35 miles an hour, but I'm driving at 35. I have stoplights, I have stop signs that I have to go through. So when it's raining, I am stopped dead. The rain is coming right down on me. And when I'm cruising, I'm only going about 35, so I don't have a ton of wind blowing the rain over me. So it has gotten a lot of direct rain, and everything inside has stayed completely dry, completely fine. And the bag felt good even with a rain jacket on. Now, I already said this, it did fit in every setting I used. It doesn't stand out. It's a black bag. The UVX40 might be a little bit more loud, if you will, just because it's like a white and gray striped bag, so it looks a little bit more like an inverted Where's Waldo. So that might stick out a little bit more, but even so, the the overall style of the bag lends to blending itself into a lot of different environments. You're not going to stick out wearing this pack in just about anywhere, any scenario that you want to use it in. Now, one thing that you could see is modded. This is another skin product. This is the especially made for the Alpha 31. Eric sent me one of these. If you saw my unboxing I did with Hazel, this is just a morale patch panel, and it just connects to the two endmost pieces of the pals, and it just pops on or off. So I could remove it if I want, or I put it back on. When I want to display a little bit of flare, I could put it on, but if I want to use the 5 loops, I just pop it back off. It comes on and off easy. I could throw it in one of the pockets of the bag, won't lose it, put it back on when I want it. So it's an easy on, easy off, and it's been sturdy. It hasn't come off, either tossing the bag around in and out of the car or riding on the scooter. So this thing is great. It stayed on, gives me a little bit of flair, and I'm enjoying that I can put a few different morale patches on my bag. So all in, fit, feel, finish, comfortability, do I think this bag is worth your $400? And the short answer to all of that is yes. Yes to everything. I love this pack. This pack is great. It feels good on the body. In every setup I've worn it in, it fits great. The load lifters really help to dial in your carry a little bit, especially since I don't use a hip belt. It really helps to pull up the bag and put it where I need it. The bag looks good. It fits in every setting. You can use it in a ton of different settings. You can use this in the city. You can use this in the office. You can use this in the woods. I mean, I might be taking this on vacation with me as a travel bag because it expands out so I can fit all of my stuff inside this bag, all of my clothes for the week, I'm sorry. I can fit all my clothes in here for a travel pack. There's a lot. Even though it looks like a simple design, you can get the ORG kits and you can strap them on the side to expand the capacity of this bag. You could do a lot with this pack. It fits in a lot of different settings. Again, it was very, very comfortable to wear. Even with that weird wonky looking back panel, the bag fit and felt great while wearing it. I had this on the scooter. It was actually one of the more comfortable packs to wear on the scooter. That bump out on the bottom for the lumbar support really hit right where I needed it to, and it felt great. So yeah, I mean, I think this bag is worth $400. It's a big price tag. It's a steep price to pay for a pack, but this is one of those bags that had so much hype for the first production run. $800+ for one of those bags. I don't know if they're still fetching that high of a price now that these V2s are out, but it's more than I would have ever paid, but the hype behind it was real. Really, really enjoyed the bag, which is why the first production runs, even though they were so expensive and they fetched such a high price tag, they were so hard to find because people just didn't want to give them up because the bags work so well. So yeah, I definitely think that the remote equipment Alpha 31 is worth your hard-earned cash. Don't feel bad about your purchase. If you're thinking about it, pull the trigger. This bag is not going to let you down. I am incredibly satisfied with this pack. So if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications the next time I post a brand new video. Good night.